Hello, lovely people. You are welcome to the next episode of the Empowerment Defensive Training Lessons. My name is Gershon Ejapon, also known as I Smile. Today, we continue with the major causes of vehicle fire and we emphasize on damaged spark plugs. Damaged spark plugs can really cause vehicle fire. Let's go into it. Anytime you start the engine of your motor vehicle, there's fire ignited in the cylinders of the engine. Therefore, these three elements comes together to form that fire: oxygen, fuel, and heat. So fire is a chemical reaction that starts when oxygen, fuel, and heat comes together in their right proportion. The underlying statement here is in their right proportion. So oxygen finds itself or its way in the cylinder. Fuel also finds its way in the cylinder, and heat also finds its way in the cylinder. And this is what ignites the fire in the cylinder. So these three things can only cause fire, or fire can be ignited when these three elements comes together in their right proportion. So for example, if we need 10% of fuel, 10% of oxygen, and 10% of heat for fire to start, if one of these elements fails to come in its 10%, fire will not start. And even if it starts, it will be very difficult for that type of fire to stay on or stay alive for a very long time. The spark plugs represent the heat. The spark plugs are what ignites the heat. So if they are damaged, it will be very difficult for the heat to come in its 10%. Therefore, the percentage of the heat will drop down. So let's assume we have only 5% of heat, meeting 10% of fuel and 10% of oxygen. It will be very difficult for fire to start. So even if the fire starts, we will not have a complete burning, because the complete burning can only happen when we have all these elements coming in their 10%. But in this case, heat couldn't come in its 10%. It came only in 5% because the spark plug that will generate the heat is damaged. So therefore, the fuel in this case will not finish burning. Some of the fuel will be left in the cylinder. And in the cylinder, there is time for the burning to finish, so that the exhaust system can also come in and take away the smoke from the cylinder, so that another set of three elements can come into the cylinder for burning. So if the exhaust system takes away the smoke from the cylinder because the fuel didn't finish burning, some of the fuel will follow the smoke into the exhaust system. And in the exhaust system, we have the catalytic converter that I said in my previous video that it can be very hot. When it happens like that, when the smoke goes alongside with the small fuel that couldn't finish burning, it settles on the catalytic converter. And because the catalytic converter is already hot, the fuel is also coming to settle on it, and there is more oxygen also in the catalytic converter or the exhaust system, and this can cause vehicle fire. This is how to find out if your spark plugs are damaged. Most of the times you will see this symbol on the instrumentation panel. When you see this symbol, it means there is something wrong with your engine that must be checked. You have to consult your mechanic for this anytime you see this symbol on your instrumentation panel. And another thing that you can also use to find out if your spark plugs are getting damaged is the performance of the motor vehicle. You are not supposed to press on accelerator too much to the ground before the car will perform very well for you. So if it happens that you have to press the accelerator down to the carpet before the car will start pulling, or before the car will start pushing or performing very well for you, then it means you may have a problem with your spark plugs that you need to check. If this video was useful to you, kindly share to friends and loved ones, and also try as much as possible and like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also follow us on TikTok and on Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Drive safe. Bye bye.